Hello all. I was asked by my sister-in-law to make a videotape of how I make my southern candied yams. So hi everybody. People ask me how to do this. I have no written recipe. And it's kind of something you do by feel, so I thought I would do it this way. And hi all my Appalachian Life friends. I love you people. You're great. Anyway, so it's not too hard to make. Let me just show you everything I got out. I have my yams. Oh, by the way, my mother learned to do this recipe when we lived in Ohio. She learned it from some ladies from Kentucky, and ever since the 70s, she's making these every year. Made these every year. You can use yams or sweet potatoes. I find that I actually like the sweet potatoes better. They're not as easy to overcook as the yams. They come out, the flavor's about the same. And I boiled them last night. And they were skinned, so they're ready to go. And you have to make sure that you make enough to fill your pan well enough. Like in this case, I'm going to use this old cast iron pan. It's the one that fit the yams just right. You want them so they fit together really well and have very little space between them. You need lots of butter, and just for fun, I bought this Amish Country roll butter. You know, here it is. It comes in a 2-pound block. I use lots of brown sugar, a little bit of salt, and then my mom usually used to add amaretto or something like that. And so amaretto or rum usually. I like the amaretto. I think it's a fun sweet taste. And a little bit of salt, because you know when you make something super sweet, it's always good to have a little salt in it. So anyway, so I'm going to get started. Again, you just kind of do this by feel. Okay, and I usually just start with about, I don't know. I'm going to start with what looks like maybe, I don't know, 3/4 cup, a cup. I'm going to just put it in my pan. I'm going to start the melting process. So we'll get that started, get a hot pan. Now, when you're guesstimating how much you're going to make as far as the candying part, you want to make sure it's going to be enough to almost cover the sweet potatoes once everything gets dissolved and all. So basically what you're doing, you're making kind of a candy coating out of brown sugar and butter. And it has to be kind of, the consistency changes, but when it gets to boiling, it thins out a little bit more like a hardtack or something like that. So I have my butter going. Again, I don't know how much brown sugar to tell you to use. But I buy a ton, you know, brown sugar you can always use, you can store it. Let me open up my package. And I'm going to dump a bunch in there. I'm probably going to use pretty much the whole packet. I think I went overboard buying brown sugar this year because I usually make enough of these for an army. There's usually more than one Thanksgiving gathering. I'm just going to put a bunch in there. I'm going to use this to get it started. So I think I can tell already I may want to use a little more butter. Again, totally by feel. I may add a little amaretto before I add some butter. I don't know. I'm going to need more brown sugar. I'm probably going to use the whole package. Yeah, I looked through all of my mother's old things, you know, to try to find the recipe. She wasn't one to keep recipes too much. She just had her cookbook and a few things shoved in there, and this was not there. She had all kinds of other things in there, but not this recipe. Okay, I'm going to need more butter. That's pretty clear to me already. So let's get some more butter out. Just going to get a big old hunk off of here. I think this Amish butter may be a little bit whipped. It's not like the usual stuff you buy in the blocks. So I'm going to put a bunch more in there. Okay. Yeah, definitely going to need the rest of this bag. Alright, I think that's going to do me. So I have no idea where my mom's next door neighbor friend got this recipe from, but I think she was from Kentucky originally. You know, I don't know. Some of my Appalachian Life friends are gonna have to fill me in. Maybe they've seen this before. I don't know. And I think I'm gonna add my amaretto too. Now it looks like a lot, but that's going to cook down and the air spaces are going to cook down. I hope I didn't make too much. I don't think I did. You have to make sure you have enough to cover your yams. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to put in a swig maybe. I don't know. Maybe about like a shot, you know. So, now the thing is, you don't want to put in too much butter, okay? Because if you put in too much butter, then the sugar can't stick and can't adhere to the yam as easily, or the sweet potato, whichever you choose to do. And there we go. Let me put in my salt. I think that looks pretty good. Butter finish melting. And I'm just going to put in, I don't know, yay much salt, I don't know, just a dash. Could be a little more maybe. I don't know. Again, it doesn't too much matter. Okay, now I have, my stove is gas, and I'm starting on kind of a medium heat just to get it started. I'm not going to leave it here. Alright. Now, this is probably going to be more than one part. So this is going to be part one. Because I have to get this going. And then I'll show you what happens next. I'll have to show you what it looks like later, because this changes in consistency as we cook. And I'm hoping, I may make a little more. I'm going to add a little more sugar. And, well, maybe not. I don't know. Again, this is kind of by feel. It's kind of hard. So this is about the consistency you're looking for. I'm going to let it cook. I'm going to stir around and let it cook maybe another minute. But again, it's really nice and sugary. It's still very granular at this time. It's not candy yet. It's just hot butter and sugar right now. Hasn't changed yet. Okay. Now, I think we're ready. We're going to add our yams. Okay. So now the yams, you want them to go together kind of tight. I mean, pretty tight. You need just enough room to be able to shove a spoon between them and baste, right? So notice, I'll let you look at this as soon as I get them all in here. So, notice what that looks like. I could have, if I had wanted to, maybe add one more yam, make it just a little tighter. Let me help you get a better look at it. Let me just do this. Okay, there you go. So you see how tight that is? It could have been a little tighter. Now, the hard part's actually over. I gotta baste these pretty thoroughly. Sorry about the bird in the background. Oh, great. Wouldn't you know it? Don't ever buy a parrot. It's like the dumbest thing you could ever do. Yeah, it's great. trying to think of this music, I guess. I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to baste these. These are probably going to cook for 3 hours total. I'm going to partially cook them tonight. I might cook them all the way. And now 3 hours is just kind of a guesstimate. You have to check them. You know, over the next couple hours they will candy. And like I said, I will check in with you in a little while to show you what they look like. I'm going to turn the heat down because I don't want it to bubble too much. See, it's already, you notice how it's bubbling? I'm going to turn it down already. You know, I have a gas stove, and the trouble with the gas stove is that sometimes it's a little powerful. I may have to move it to the back burner, which is smaller. But anyways, to get them all nice and covered and let them start kind of congealing, and it's this, you can see, can you guys see that? I hope you can. You see how it's already starting to get kind of nice and liquid? It tells me I got to turn my heat down. It's going a little fast. That's as low as it's going to go. Anyway, so that is kind of step one. And from here on out, I don't have to do anything but kind of watch and baste for the next maybe hour, hour and a half. At that point, I'll decide whether I'll cook them fully or not. And another nice thing about this recipe is once you get them started, you get them cooking. If you take them off the stove, you don't have to refrigerate them because of all the oil and all the sugar. They don't like go bad overnight or anything. So you can actually kind of leave them out, and that's what I'm going to do because I don't have space in my refrigerator. Anyway, me and my parrot are going to sign out, and I will check in with you later.